General and qualified acceptances. 19. 1. Part 1, Section 1. Acceptance. An acceptance is either general or qualified. Section 2. A general acceptance assents without qualification to the order of the drawer. A qualified acceptance in express terms varies the effect of the bill as drawn. In particular, an acceptance is qualified, which is conditional. That is to say, which makes payment by the acceptor dependent on the fulfillment on a condition therein stated, which means this is not a bill of, we're not talking about bills of exchange now. We're talking about general and qualified acceptances. A says conditional, that it is to say which makes payment by the acceptor dependent on the fulfillment of a condition therein stated. B, partial, that is to say an acceptance to pay part only of the amount of which the bill is drawn. Or C, local, that is to say an acceptance to pay only at a particular specified place. An acceptance to pay at a particular place is a general acceptance unless it expressly states that the bill is to be paid there only and not elsewhere. Qualified as to time, Section D, and E, the acceptance of someone or more of the drawees, but not of all. 20. In-choate instruments. 1. Where a simple signature on a blank paper is delivered by the signer, in order that it may be converted into a bill, it operates as a prima facie authority to fill it up as a complete bill for any amount, using the signature for that of the drawer, or the acceptor, or an endorser. And in like manner, when a bill is wanting in any material particular, and the person in possession of it has a prima facie authority to fill up the omission in any way he thinks fit. Again, like I said earlier, that all they need to access your account is your signature. If they have only a signature, they can build a bill of exchange around your name. On Part 20, in-choate instruments, Part 1 clearly specifies how they can utilize your signature. So let's go to Section 2 here. 2, Part 2. In order that any such instrument, when completed, may be enforceable against any person who became a party thereto prior to its completion, it must be filled up within a reasonable time and strictly in accordance with the authority given. Reasonable time for this purpose is a question of fact, provided that if any such instrument after completion is negotiated to a holder in due course, it shall be valid and effectual for all purposes in his hand, and he may enforce it as it had been filled up within a reasonable time and strictly in accordance with the authority given. So that section there is just saying that if they negotiate your instrument, if they're selling or securitizing the instrument and negotiating it, then anyone who is in possession of it has the right to take it to the pay window. Part 21, Section 1. Every contract on a bill, whether it be the drawers, the acceptors, or an endorsers, is incomplete and revocable until delivery of the instrument in order to give effect thereto, provided that where an acceptance is written on a bill and the drawee gives notice to or according to the directions of the person entitled to the bill that he has accepted it, the acceptance then becomes complete and irrevocable. So here it's just saying that the delivery of the instrument is actually what gives it the effect. Part 2. As between immediate parties and as regards a remote party, other than a holder in due course, the delivery, A, in order to be effectual, must be made either by or under the authority of the party drawing, accepting, or endorsing, as the case may be. B, may be shown to have been conditional or for a special purpose only, and not for the purpose of transferring the property in the bill. But if the bill be in the hands of a holder in due course, a valid delivery of the bill by all parties prior to him, so as to make them liable to him, is conclusively presumed. This is the purpose of sending your documents, registered mail, as well as having a return receipt, because now it's effectual. It is effective processing of your bill of exchange. So now this is how you are negotiating. 3, so where a bill is no longer in the possession of a party who has signed it as drawer, acceptor, or endorser, a valid and unconditional delivery by him is presumed until the contrary is proved. Capacity and authority of parties. Act 22. Capacity to incur liability as a party to a bill is coextensive with capacity to contract, provided that nothing in this section shall enable a corporation to make itself liable as drawer, acceptor, or endorser of a bill, unless it is competent to do under the law for the time being in force relating to corporations. Where a bill is drawn or endorsed by an infant, minor, or corporation having no capacity or power to incur liability on a bill, the drawing or endorsement entitles the holder to receive payment of the bill and to enforce it against any other party thereto. Act 23. Signature essential to liability. No person is liable as drawer, endorser, or acceptor of a bill who has not signed it as such, provided that where a person signs a bill in a trade or assumed name, he is liable thereon as if he had signed it in his own name. The signature of the name of a firm equivalent to the signature by the person so signing of the names of all persons liable as partners in that firm. 24. Forged or unauthorized signature. Subject to the provisions of this act, where a signature on a bill is forged or placed thereon without the authority of the person whose signature it purports to be, the forged or unauthorized signature is wholly inoperative, and no right to retain the bill or to give a discharge therefore or to enforce payment thereof against any party thereto can be acquired through or under that signature, unless the party against whom it is sought to retain or enforce payment of the bill is precluded from setting up the forgery or want of authority, provided that nothing in this section shall affect the ratification of an unauthorized signature not amounting to a forgery. Act 25, procuration signatures. A signature by procuration operates has noticed that the agent has but a limited authority to sign, and the principal is only bound by such signature if the agent in so signing was acting within the actual limits of his authority. Act 26. Person signing as agent or in representative capacity. Where a person signs a bill as drawer, endorser, or acceptor and adds words to his signature indicating that he signs for or on behalf of a principal or in a representative character, he is not personally liable thereon, but the mere addition to his signature of words describing him as an agent or as filling a representative character does not exempt him from personal liability. 2. In determining whether a signature on a bill is that of the principal or that of the agent by whose hand it is written, the construction most favorable to the validity of the instrument shall be adopted. The consideration for a bill. Act 27, value and holder for value. Section 1. Valuable consideration for a bill may be constituted by A. Any consideration sufficient to support a simple contract. B. An antecedent debt or liability. Such a debt or liability is deemed valuable consideration whether the bill is payable on demand or at a future time. Section 2. Where value has at any time been given for a bill, the holder is deemed to be a holder for value as regards the acceptor and all parties to the bill who became parties prior to such time. Section 3. Where the holder of a bill has a lien on it, arising either from contract or by implication of law, he is deemed to be a holder to the extent of the sum for which he has a lien. Act 28. Accommodation, bill, or party. Section 1. An accommodation party to a bill is a person who has signed a bill as drawer, acceptor, or endorser without receiving value therefor, and for the purpose of lending his name to some other person. Section 2. An accommodation party is liable on the bill to a holder for value, and it is immaterial whether when such holder took the bill, he knew such party to be an accommodation party or not. Act 29. Holder in due course. A holder in due course is a holder who takes a bill complete and regular on the face of it, under the following conditions, namely, that he became the holder of it before it was overdue and without notice that it had been previously dishonored, if such was the fact. That he took the bill in good faith and for value, and that at the time the bill was negotiated to him, he had no notice of any defect in the title of the person who negotiated it. Section 2. In particular, the title of a person who negotiates a bill is defective within the meaning of this act. When he obtained the bill or the acceptance thereof by fraud, duress, or force and fear, or other unlawful means, or an illegal consideration, or when he negotiates it in breach of faith or under such circumstances as amount to a fraud. Section 3. A holder, whether for value or not, who derives his title to a bill through a holder in due course, and who is not himself a party to any fraud or illegality affecting it, has all the rights of the holder in due course, as regards to the acceptor and all parties to the bill prior to that holder.